If you're in Seattle, and you need to buy or sell a home, we'll be right there for you. Because we're the realtors that you can trust. So go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of The Ron and Don Show, Real Estate Only. And we are back in the Team Lisa. That's Team Lisa. .com studios for all your mortgage needs. Get in touch with Team Lisa.
With a Y.
.com, and she sure has been helping a lot of our clients.
She has.
Yeah, what did you want to say?
What's up, Ron and Don Nation?
What's going on, Real Estate Only? What do you got?
This I found, I think you're going to have a lot to say on this, hopefully, and found it interesting. So I subscribe to the New York Times, because I'm that kind of guy. I just like to support journalism. And so this article popped up from this guy. Is it Stuart Thompson? Is that the guy's name?
Yep.
I tried to sell my house with a chatbot. Over 5 frantic days, I gambled my family's life savings on a hunch that AI could outperform a real estate agent. So I think we're going to start to see this more and more of, is AI going to kill real estate agents? And it's a legitimate question. I don't want to poo-poo it because the rapid improvement of these AI LLMs has been pretty astonishing. I've been doing way more work and way more investigations into these different products. And so here's the TLDR on this article. So what this guy did, and as background, which is going to become important later, is Stuart is on the technology writing team for the New York Times. They also have access to the New York Times enterprise level of AI technology, and he is versant in building his own AI clients to a level that just your average person does not have. So Stuart has some special tools and special expertise at his disposal. But what he did is he said, okay, could an AI outperform a real estate agent? So here's what he did, Don. He has this house in upstate New York. He interviewed a real estate agent that brought by a CMA, a comparable market analysis, and that guy said, your house is worth $550,000. And so he went out and he's like, okay, I'm not going to use this guy. I'm going to do it all through the AI. So you
used the agent, though, to get the CMA.
He used the agent to get a CMA.
And paid him nothing. Okay.
Decided to not go with him.
That's nice of him.
He ended up selling the house for $600,000. So according to, this is the New York Times math, which is not accurate, but I'll leave it here. So he's saying that he saved $36,000 in agent commissions. He got $50,000 more than what this agent told him over the CMA that presented. And so in his mind, he's up $90,000 by doing it himself. And so later in the article, they do say that he then, after he was done, he did go to a different agent, a more higher end agent that was like, well, I think I could have got $650,000 for your house, but I don't know who this first guy was, but that's another story for another day. So the upshot of the story is he's going, I did this all myself. I saved $90,000. This could be the wave of the future. And so on its face, I'm not going to poo-poo that, because if you're this guy and he was willing to do all of the work, his house was in a really sought after zip code. It had 0 deferred maintenance, and he had his own enterprise level AI chatbot, and he was willing to do all the work. He took all the phone calls, scheduled all of the listings, did all of the work, and he was able to sell his house. And so on its face, before I jump into what my thoughts were, what do you think of, and I know you may or may not have read the story, of Stuart's narrative there?
I think you should be a real estate agent. And I will say, the thing that is embarrassing about being a real estate agent is other real estate agents. When I was in my 20s and I owned a place called Bellevue Auto Sports, which was a car lot over in Bellevue, the most embarrassing thing about owning that car lot is other people that own those car lots, right? Because of the way that they treated people, because of the dishonesty, because of the way that they would represent cars or say things that were fixed that were not fixed. It really bothered me, and I didn't like it. Fast forward now to being a real estate agent. Why is it that 74% of real estate agents in Washington State will not do a deal this year? And I wrote about this a couple weeks ago, and I put it on my Facebook channel. It's because, especially during COVID, and especially now during this AI boom, people look at this and they say, well, what could I do? And then sometimes they'll sell a piece of real estate and they look at the commissions and they're like, you know what? That was a pretty big commission that I paid, or that was a pretty big commission that my friend paid. I'd like to go get that commission. So they think it's going to be real easy to go out and get a real estate license, which it is. It is super easy to go out, especially if English is your first language. It is super easy to go out and get a real estate license. The problem is everything that you read as you prepare to get your real estate license has nothing to do with what your real estate business is going to be. And the thing that you have to ask yourself when it comes to selling real estate is, what is my unique differentiator? When people always ask me about radio or podcasts, I have people that reach out to me all the time. They're like, wow, it's incredible that you guys have a very successful podcast. How is it so successful? Well, it has a unique differentiator to it. And part of it is because it's attached to our real estate business, and it's also attached to the fact that we've been in broadcasting now for 35 years. So we've taken all these things that are unique to us, and also the fact that we've owned a lot of real estate, we've dealt with a lot of deferred properties, we own a lot of rentals, we run short-term, mid-term, long-term rentals, and we've also lived in the Seattle area on and off now for 35 years. So we're experts when it comes to this neighborhood. And our unique differentiator, like I was out in somebody with West Seattle today, and she wants to buy a multifamily property that is right on the Puget Sound on Alki Beach. And she said, I want to buy this, but I don't know if it's worth it. And she said, how do I know if it's worth it or not? I said, well, we have to figure out what the cap rate is. Well, what is a cap rate? And how do we figure out a cap rate? Well, in order to figure out the cap rate, we have to go and visit the property, which is something that AI can't do. AI cannot go and visit that property. What you could do is you could look online, because part of determining what the property is worth is what the rents are on that property. Well, the problem is the woman that runs this and owns this property is a four-door property. Her husband died 10 years ago. She hasn't raised the rents in those 10 years. The rents have not been raised. Because the rents haven't been raised, we can't determine what the cap rate is, because in order to determine the cap rate, we need to know what the current rents would be. You don't know what the current rents are going to be until you go out and you actually see the property. Then we walked into the property, and the property is currently on oil, it's on gas, and it's on electricity. Oil, gas, and electricity. Well, it's going to have to be connected from oil, and it's probably going to be disconnected from gas. It's probably going to be left on electricity where it's at. And then we have to determine, how much is it going to cost to take out all these appliances that are connected to oil, gas, and electricity? On top of that, the carpet has been placed down on top of hardwoods. The carpets have to be peeled back, and we have to see if we can hang these hardwoods. On top of that, it seems like the roof has an issue, and they're also selling it as a land bank. What's a land bank? Well, now we got to go out and get a survey to understand the land bank, to see if we can actually build something on the land bank that is next to this four-door property. So my point is, when it comes to properties like this, I'm an expert. You can go online and ask AI all you want about this particular property on Beach Drive. Beach Drive isn't going to be able to, number one, land a value of this property. Number two, bring in the subs that are going to have to bring in to fix all these things. And on top of that, what are all these things going to cost? Because that determines the cap rate. And then we have to determine, because she's going to live there, what are the tax implications of her living there? And also, how much is it going to cost to fix the deferred maintenance? So then we really understand, as we force appreciation onto this property, what the property is actually going to be worth, and will the property cash flow? So in order to understand if the property is going to cash flow, what we have to do is we have to get on the phone and talk to our friend Lisa with a Y to understand what kind of financing we can get, because the financing that we get for the multifamily is not the same kind of financing that you can get for the land bank in order to build the DADU or the ADU, based on all the zoning changes that have happened with LR2 zoning right now in the city of Seattle. So AI will probably have a hard time figuring that out, but something that's as straightforward as this, let's say that you have a condo and the condo doesn't have deferred maintenance. And the condo is like all the other condos in the building. And you're like, you know what? I want to do what this guy's going to do. This is pretty straightforward. Most real estate deals, as we know, are not straightforward. Most homes that we walk into have a lot of deferred maintenance. Most homes that we walk into, there has been cognitive impairment or a parent has passed away. Like the situations that we walk into, you have to walk into these situations in order to fix these situations. And AI, I love AI. I love AI. I love the tool. I'm not afraid of it. I love it. I'm making sure that I raise my son in such a way that we use AI in our house and that he's currently using AI in his business and our finances and the way that we invest and also in our real estate business. So I love the tool. I'm not afraid of this, right? It's like, hey, do I hire a trucking company or do I go out and buy my own truck and truck stuff myself across America, or I rent a U-Haul? You can do that. You can rent a U-Haul and you can truck stuff across America, just like a moving company would do. But in certain cases, you know, they came out with U-Haul and moving companies didn't go out of business. I think it's the same with real estate. Those real estate agents out there that don't have a unique differentiator, that can't walk onto a property like I could today, which I called the agent on this property. I said, what is the cap rate on the property? I don't know what a cap rate is. That's interesting. You're a Windermere agent. You don't know what a cap rate is? I said, where is the survey to prove that you have a land bank? She goes, I don't have a survey. I said, well, why would you advertise it as a land bank? She said, well, because I think you can build something there. Well, how do you know you can build something there? Well, because other things have been built in the neighborhood. And I said, well, okay, but the zoning has changed. And do you know if those things are conforming or non-conforming? She said, I'm not going to answer that question. And I said, that's really weird. And then she got a little hostile with me. And I said, you know what? I'm Tamara Marson trained. We were Windermere agents. The questions I'm asking you, I was taught by Tamara Marson to ask you, right? So then she cooled off a little bit. And I'm like, I'm having a hard time believing that you brought this property to market, that you're representing this property for this older woman, and you can't answer these questions. That real estate agent should not be representing that property. Someone like me should be representing that property because I understand that property. So number one, you better be unique. And number two, you better know how are you going to go out and get lead generation when you sold your neighbor's house, your friend's house, your girlfriend's house, and your aunt and uncle's house. Beyond that, whose house are you going to sell, and what is unique about you where someone wouldn't want to use AI or someone wouldn't want to use another real estate agent? So typically when people pay us, they feel like they don't pay us enough. And I love what one agent said about Ron the other day. This agent said to us, and Ron has done a lot of work on a house that we just sold down in Angle Lake. She said, this is an agent that wrote the deal on the house. If I was ever going to bring a home to market, I would hire you guys to sell it because of the way that you not only brought this house to market, but the way that you represented the buyer. AI can't do that. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with most of the stuff that you said there. I sort of broke this down to like respond directly to the claims made in the article. And so I think that AI is good in a lot of ways.
I love it.
I think that if you are a homeowner and you're willing to do all of the things that this guy Stuart was willing to do, that you probably can sell your house. And you could before AI. In the Pacific Northwest, between 3 and 5% of houses sold are for sale by owner.
You can always
already
Sure.
do this if you're willing to do all the work. I thought of it in the way of like, there are people that can take apart their car and put it back together. And so they don't need to go to the mechanic. If there's something comes up with their car, they can fix it. I'm not one of those people. So while I could, when I go to get a car fixed, I'm always amazed at how expensive it is to get something done on the car, but I don't know how to do it. And so is it possible for me to fix my own car? Sure, it's possible.
And AI could tell you how to do it.
AI could probably tell me to do it. Am I confident enough in the skills and the tools that I have to do that? No. So what I think is AI is very good at big data. So if you are thinking, okay, I have this house, I want to know what it's worth. Doing an online CMA with the help of an AI can probably get you pretty good information. I don't know if it's going to be 100% accurate.
It's as good.
It's going to be pretty good, though. If you have the right prompts and you have an enterprise product and you understand how to use AI, you can generate good data for yourself.
I took all the real estate that I own and I plugged it into all different types of AI, all the information, and it doesn't even come close to what my homes are worth because AI has never been inside those homes. So AI is probably as good as Zillow and it depends on if you're living in a neighborhood where all the homes are alike, if it's tract housing.
I'm saying it can do that.
Or
not just in real estate.
Seattle, we have
you're able
so
to track
many
big data.
unique and different homes, and it becomes very, very difficult to place value on.
So one of the things that he talked about, which I agree with, is AI is good at writing. They are called large language models for a reason. They've read the entire internet. They can help you write stuff, whether that be the description for your house or correspondence with other agents. It's good at looking over your writing.
And I'm
helping
sorry,
tweak your
letter
writing.
to my life partner if I made a mistake.
Exactly. And so contract research, AI can be really good at that. Again, it's writing. It's read all of the legal briefings. It can go through all of those documents in very quickly. And so it's good at that stuff. And it's good at marketing. So when he was marketing his house, it can help you create a good marketing plan.
I have to say, all the AI marketing out there, I look at the traffic on it, it doesn't get clicks. And there are so many real estate agents now that are using all that stuff and it doesn't get clicks. And the problem is some of it is so slick. When you go out and look at the house, it's a huge disappointment. It's a huge disappointment because the house or the property doesn't even look like it looks online. What people really, the thing, and we pay to get videos done and pictures and all that, the things that get most traffic and the most interest are when I walk into a house and I just turn on my camera and I just start walking around the house. I will sometimes get 100, 200,000 people that will look at the camera where I'm just walking around the house. Like, for instance, and I don't say anything. There's no music. It's not slick. It's just I show whatever shoes I have on that day, and it says Ron and Don Real Estate on the mat outside the house. And if it's a 3-story house, I'll do that for each story, and I'll put it online. It explodes. People love stuff that's real. They don't love AI, and they don't love AI marketing. They don't.
And
it's
so
shiznit.
That's what brings me back to this, and in terms of like having a value for earning your money as a real estate agent. The biggest thing for me, for human beings, is nearly I'd say 99.9% of the transactions we've done, it's an emotional transaction.
And it's a heavy lift. It is
not nuts and bolts AI material. You have to read the room. You have to feel what it felt like to lose a child, to lose a partner, to have some divorce happen in your house, to mourn the loss of this property. Like, there's a lot of emotions in it. I don't think an AI might be able to tell you about that if you can articulate what it is as the seller. But a big part of the job is being a psychologist and connecting with a person, because they can choose any real estate agent. Why are they choosing you? Because they feel safe and they trust you. So that's a huge thing that AI in the real world cannot do. The renovations, the staging, and these sort of things that you just talked about, AI is not good at real world endeavors. I actually just read a big piece about one of the frontiers on AI right now is something as simple as object permanence for, like, you know, when your kid was a baby and you play peekaboo with them until they figure out that, oh, you didn't really disappear. You're there. You just covered up your face, or here's the ball and you bring the ball back. That's really novel until you go, oh, the ball didn't disappear. The ball still exists. AI struggles with that right now. And
then your baby takes a shiznit in the diaper and AI can't change that diaper.
Correct.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like real world things, reading people, staging a house, taking photographs of the house, doing renovations on a house, negotiating.
And we don't know if this house could have been worth 7. We don't really know how much this house is worth because we don't know the negotiation process that this went through. I would want to see the deal. I don't want to see the contracts. I don't want to see the calls. I want to see who they sold it to. When you say you're taking your life, I don't even know if I believe this whole story. because it is.
But that's going to connect with a lot of people.
From the time that well, and that's fine. And I'm not defensive about it. I hate real estate agents for the most part. I hate working with them. I hate that I am one sometimes because they're lazy. They don't own real estate. They don't own rentals, and they get a check, and then you watch them on Facebook in Cancun. Very rarely do you see a real estate agent that is sitting in their own open house. We sit in all our open houses because we represent that property, because we brought that property to market, because we want to be able to tell the people that we're representing that house for, and sometimes they're in states away and they've already moved away, what happened and what people said and what their response is. And what most real estate agents do that have been doing this for a while is they market that out to someone else in the office, and they're going to go sit in there, and they haven't done any of the work, and they're show up, and they're going to hand out some cookies, and then, which I think cookies are a good idea. Nothing wrong with cookies, but they're representing you. The person hired you to represent the house, and you're in Cancun or you're out skiing. And most real estate agents are just freaking lazy, and I'm embarrassed to be one.
So I'll make a deal with you to end this segment. If this appeals to you, you're in tech, you feel like you have AI skills, and you're like, I'm going to sell my own house. Let's do a Ron and Don sit down anyway. And if at the end of that call it becomes apparent that that's a good idea, we will tell you that. If it's like, dude, you have the skills, sell this yourself. We will be honest with you and not, blow sunshine up your skirt, as my dad would say.
I'll blow you, especially if you have a skirt on. I'm blowing sunshine.
Okay,
that's what I'm doing.
Great.
You can be honest. I'm blowing sunshine.
Perfect.
Yeah. Are we done?
Yep.
All right. Hey, you guys! Thanks for listening to this episode of the Ron and Don Show. Sorry, I got a little fired up. Yeah, Coach Don has to calm down a little bit. Anyway, I got to go coach some football. When you coming by? Give the team a talk.
When it cools down.
All right. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna tell them?
Nothing.
What do you mean? You got to come by and give them like you can't blow stuff up their sunshine. You can't come by and give a football talk?
Sure, I can give a football
talk. You cannot
talk.
come by the sacred huddle of Lincoln High School and tell kids that is not how you start, it's how you finish.
No.
And we are out here to be tackling machines, and we are going cheek to cheek. And I'm not talking human cheek to human cheek. I am talking human cheek to ass cheek. And guess what, guys? When we play up here, that is a negotiation. When we play down here, we are dictators. We are not negotiators. We are dictators. It is time to go cheek to ass cheek. Are you with me, tackling machines?
I do not want to speak to your team. I'm out.
They love it. You're like, Gunner, your father is crazy.
I concur.
Yeah. He has a lot of energy.
All right. See you next time.
No, you got to give the goodbye.
I don't give the goodbye.
Okay. Hey, you guys, thanks for listening to this episode of the Ron and Don Show. Goodbye.
See ya.
Yep.
Have a good one.
RonandDonSitDown.com. Team Lisa with Y.com. Thanks to Matt. Thanks to Gunner. Thanks to Charlie. Thanks to Ron. Thanks to Don.
you. Yeah.
Keep your head up and shoulders back. Keep it this Ron and Don Show. Ron and Don Radio Network. Goodbye.
Well, that's it. Show's over. We'll see you next time on the Ron and Don Radio Network.